Welcome to the Deep Dive, the place where we really try to sift through all the digital noise to bring you insights that matter. I'm really glad you're joining us today because we are diving headfirst into something that, well, it feels like it's changing our whole sense of reality almost without us noticing. Just think about it for a second. You're scrolling your feed, you watch a news clip, maybe get an urgent audio message, and something just feels off. Not obviously fake, but there's this little niggle. What happens when that feeling isn't just occasional, but constant? When telling what's real from what's perfectly faked becomes, well, almost impossible. Imagine seeing a video, hearing a voice, reading something that perfectly mimics someone you know, someone you trust, but it's all just a digital illusion. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's here, now. So today we're tackling deepfakes and this whole world of synthetic media. And these aren't just like niche tech experiments anymore. They're evolving incredibly fast, getting super sophisticated, and honestly, making it really, really hard for all of us to separate truth from, well, a really convincing lie. Our goal today, to cut through that complexity, give you a clear path to understanding this really vital topic.
And it is vital. The urgency is real. We're not talking hypotheticals set way off in the future. Deep fakes are happening right now. They're influencing everything from, movies and music to really serious stuff like national security and, the bedrock of democracy. Understanding this isn't just about being in the know. It's about getting the tools you need to navigate this shifting information landscape.
Exactly. So what we want to do in this conversation is give you the full picture. We'll unpack what deepfakes actually are. We're going to, pull back the curtain on how they're made, look at all the ways they're used. And there are some genuinely positive, even groundbreaking applications. But we also have to face the really harmful side, the serious worries they create for society, and crucially, what's being done. What are the cutting-edge ways people are trying to spot and fight these fakes?
And to get that full picture, we've dug into a whole range of sources. We're looking at the latest academic papers, computer science stuff, detailed industry reports, cybersecurity insights, and also, real-world examples, case studies from all over. Our aim is to give you that balanced, comprehensive view so you walk away really feeling like you get it.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with the basics then, getting the terms right. Because you hear synthetic media and deepfakes thrown around a lot, sometimes like they mean the same thing. But getting that distinction clear seems like the essential first step, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's crucial because it sets the stage properly. Let's start with the big one, synthetic media. Think of this as the broad umbrella term. It covers any kind of content, video, pictures, text, voice that's partly or fully generated or maybe manipulated using AI or machine learning. It's the whole spectrum, really.
Right. So like things we encounter all the time.
Exactly. Things like AI-written music, text from models like ChatGPT, the CGI in movies that build whole worlds, virtual reality, augmented reality, apps that overlay digital stuff on your phone camera view, even the voice on your GPS or smart speaker. That's all synthetic media. And importantly, a lot of it is made for creative reasons or practical ones. There's no intention to deceive.
Okay, so that's the big category. Where do deepfakes fit in?
So deepfakes are a specific subset of synthetic media, often the more concerning subset. The name itself kind of gives it away. It mashes up deep learning, the AI technique, and fake. These are images, videos, or audio clips specifically made using these advanced AI tools. Their whole point is usually to show real people, or sometimes totally fictional ones, doing or saying things they never actually did in a way that looks totally convincing. The key element, the thing that often makes them problematic, is that intent to make something look real when it's actually fabricated.
Got it. So synthetic media is the whole universe of AI-generated content, much of it harmless or even useful like special effects or maybe AI art. But deepfakes are the specific type, using similar tech, that focus on creating convincing fakes of people. And often, not always, but often, there's that intent to deceive or manipulate behind it. It's the blend of looking real but being artificial that's so potent.
Precisely. That perceived authenticity is key.
So how do these actually, show up? What forms do they take in practice?
Well, they generally manifest in a few main ways, and these are getting more sophisticated all the time. First, there's what we call face reenactment.
Yep.
This is where you take an existing video of someone, say, a politician giving a speech, and you use software to manipulate their facial features. You can change their expressions, make their head move differently, even make it look like they're saying completely different words.
Wow, like digital puppetry.
Kind of, yeah. The original person is still there visually, but you're controlling their face, putting new words in their mouth, changing the emotion. Then there's face generation. This is a step further. Here, the AI isn't tweaking an existing face. It's creating a brand new, totally non-existent face from scratch. It does this by learning patterns from huge databases of real faces.
Like those "this person does not exist" websites.
Exactly like that. You see these incredibly realistic photos online, but the person in the picture never lived.
Uh,
This is really powerful for creating fake online profiles, sock puppets. And the third big one is speech synthesis or voice cloning. This is where AI analyzes someone's real voice, sometimes needing just a few seconds of audio, and creates a digital model of it.
just a few seconds. Seriously.
It's getting that good, yeah. Once that model exists, you can generate new audio that sounds almost exactly like the original person, making them say literally anything you want.
That is genuinely mind-bending. You could be listening to a podcast voice that isn't human, or watching a video where someone's expression is subtly tweaked. And you'd have no clue. It's not some future thing. It's already woven into what we see and hear online, often without us even knowing.
That ability to fool our senses, that's the real game changer here. Because, faking content isn't new.
Right, people have been manipulating photos since, the 1800s,
Yep.
and video editing's been around for ages.
Exactly. But deepfakes are different. The deep part matters. It's the AI, the machine learning power behind them that makes them uniquely potent.
So it's not just digital cutting and pasting.
No, not at all. Deepfakes leverage deep learning, which uses these complex, multi-layered neural networks. These systems aren't just following instructions, they're learning the incredibly subtle patterns of human faces, voices, movements. They use things like facial recognition algorithms to map features accurately, and crucially, specific types of AI networks, things called variational autoencoders, or VAEs, and especially generative adversarial networks, GANAs. Those are the real engines driving this realism. It's moved beyond human editing to AI actually creating fake reality. That's the leap.
It's fascinating tracing how we got here. From those early photo tricks to, this. How did we go from basic movie manipulation to this level of AI? What was that journey?
It's a story of slow burns and then sudden accelerations. Photo manipulation started way back. Movie effects followed. Digital video made things faster. But the specific AI-powered stuff, deepfakes, really started cooking in academic labs, quietly from the 90s onwards.
Really? That early?
Yeah, one key early project was called Video Rewrite, back in 1997. It was one of the first to fully automate tweaking someone's facial animation just from an audio track, using machine learning. Basically, taking video of someone talking and making their mouth sync up perfectly with different audio. That was the seed.
Wow.
Then, jump forward a couple of decades, and research just exploded. 2016, you get face-to-face, real-time facial reenactment using just normal webcams. One person could kind of puppet another person's face live. 2017, the Synthesizing Obama project. That was famous for getting incredibly realistic lip sync just from audio, making him appear to say things he never said very convincingly. These weren't just tech demos. They proved AI could really manipulate human likeness in startling ways.
And it didn't stop at faces, right?
No, it quickly went broader.
Right.
August 2018, UC Berkeley researchers published about a deepfake dancing app. That was big because it showed deepfakes could apply to the whole body, making someone look like an amazing dancer. And then, something really chilling in 2019. Researchers showed how deepfakes could mess with medical imaging. They demonstrated automatically adding or removing signs of lung cancer in 3D CT scans, convincingly enough to fool experienced radiologists and a cutting-edge AI detection tool.
Good grief. That's terrifying.
It was a white hat test, thankfully, but it showed the incredible and frankly scary reach this tech could have. What began as academic curiosity quickly showed its power for good and ill.
Okay, so it starts in labs. But how does something that complex get out into the wild so fast? Into public hands, then commercial products. That jump seems huge.
It was a huge jump and a really critical moment. The term deepfake itself actually came from Reddit, late 2017, a user called Deepfakes. This user and others on subreddits like Deepfakes started sharing videos they'd made. A lot of the early stuff was celebrity face swaps onto pornographic videos, which immediately raised red flags, obviously.
Yeah, I remember that.
But there was other stuff too, like putting Nicolas Cage's face in different movies, more humorous, satirical uses. Communities like RSFW Deepfakes, Safe for Work ones popped up, showing people were grabbing onto this tech for all sorts of reasons, some ethically murky, some just creative.
So the community kind of ran with it.
They really did, and that amateur experimentation quickly led to commercial tools. By January 2018, just months after the Reddit stuff blew up, an app called Fake App launched. It was a desktop app that made face swapping much easier for people without coding skills. It wasn't perfect and got replaced by better tools, but it broke down the barrier. Then came more powerful open source options like FaceSwap, Deep Lab, and web apps like Deepfakes Web. That really democratized it. Once the basic ideas were out, people built user-friendly tools fast.
And then the bigger players jumped in.
Yeah, companies started seeing the potential. Synthesia used it for creating realistic AI avatars for corporate training videos, scalable, personalized learning. In China, the social media giant Momo launched Zhao, an app letting users put their face in movie clips using just one photo. It went viral. In 2019, a Japanese AI company, DataGrid, even showed they could generate full-body deepfakes from nothing, not just faces. And it kept accelerating. By 2020, audio deepfakes got scarily good. Software could clone a voice convincingly from just 5 seconds of audio.
5 seconds?
Yep. And mobile apps like Impressions launched, making it even easier to create celebrity deepfake videos right on your phone. It's a clear path. Complex lab project to widely available, powerful tools impacting entertainment, business, and deception.
Okay, so the tools get easier to use, more people start making them. What were the technical hurdles they were trying to overcome to make them even better, even more convincing?
Right. As it spread, the race was on to refine the tech, fix the glitches that gave away the fakes. A big survey in 2020 highlighted the key challenges researchers were tackling. One major one is generalization. Early on, making a good deepfake meant feeding the AI tons of video of one specific person, hours and hours.
Right, very data hungry.
Exactly. So the goal became use less data, less training time, make models that work well on new people the AI hasn't been trained on extensively. Imagine faking anyone with just a few photos. That's generalization. Another challenge. Paired training. A lot of the best early models needed perfectly matched data, like a source face and a target face in the exact same pose. Making that data is super tedious.
It's like it.
So researchers worked on self-supervised methods, letting the AI learn from different frames of the same video, or using unpaired networks like CycleGen that don't need those perfect batches. Makes it much easier to use more varied source material. Then there's identity leakage. This is a subtle one. Imagine swapping face A onto body B. Sometimes, little quirks of actor B, a unique frown, the shape of their head might kind of leak onto the generated face A. It breaks the illusion.
Ah, I see.
So they developed techniques like attention mechanisms, telling the AI exactly where to focus, or few-shot learning to make sure only the target's identity comes through cleanly. No accidental blending. Occlusions were another big problem. If someone's hand covered part of their face, or hair, or glasses, early deepfakes would often glitch out badly there.
Yeah, you'd see weird artifacts.
Right, so modern methods use clever image segmentation to separate the face from things covering it, and then in-painting techniques to realistically fill in the blocked parts. Much smoother. And finally, temporal coherence. This tackles the flickering or jitteriness you sometimes see in fake videos. It happens because the AI might generate each frame slightly inconsistently, without enough context from the frames before and after it.
Making it look unnatural over time.
Exactly. So they're developing ways to give the AI more context across time, or using specific training methods, temporal coherence losses, that penalize the AI for making inconsistent frames. Result: much smoother, more stable video. These continuous improvements mean those little telltale signs are rapidly disappearing.
And here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit scary. Because every time they fix a flaw, every time they smooth out a flicker or correct an inconsistency, the fakes get better, harder to spot. It fuels this constant accelerating arms race between making fakes and detecting them. The moment you find a way to spot one, they evolve past it.
That's the core dynamic, absolutely.
So technically, what's under the hood? You mentioned VAEs and JANs. Can you break those down a bit more simply? How do they actually work?
Sure. Let's start with the earlier tech. Autoencoders. Think of an autoencoder like a skilled sketch artist and a reconstructor. It has two parts, an encoder and a decoder. The encoder takes an image, say your face, and compresses it into a kind of shorthand, a latent space. This latent space captures the essential features, your face, structure, expression, pose, but in a very compact way.
Like the key defining points.
Exactly. Then the decoder takes that shorthand sketch and tries to redraw the original full image from it. Now, deepfakes use this cleverly. They train a universal encoder that's good at sketching anyone's essential features, but then instead of giving that sketch back to the original decoder, they feed it into a different decoder, one that's been trained only on images of the target person you want to impersonate.
Ah, so the performance comes from the source, but the face comes from the target's dedicated decoder.
Precisely. The movements, the expressions are preserved, but the specific facial details are swapped in seamlessly. It's like putting one actor's performance onto another's digital face. But the big upgrade, powering many of the best deepfakes now, is the Generative Adversarial Network, or GAN. JAS are fascinating. They involve two AI networks locked in a kind of competition.
A competition.
A competition.
Yeah.
You have the generator. Think of it like the decoder. Its job is to create new fake images. Its goal is to make fakes so good they're indistinguishable from real ones. But it's constantly challenged by the second network, the discriminator. The discriminator is like a detective or an art critic. Its only job is to look at an image and decide, is this real from the training dataset or is it fake, made by the generator?
Okay, so one makes fakes, the other tries to bust them.
Exactly, and they learn from each other. When the discriminator successfully spots a fake, the generator learns what it did wrong and tries to make a better fake next time. When the generator manages to fool the discriminator has to get better at spotting more subtle flaws.
That's a brilliant analogy. It really clicks now. It's like that art forger versus the authenticator. The forger makes a copy, the authenticator finds a tiny flaw, the forger learns, makes an even better copy. The authenticator has to get even sharper. They just keep pushing each other to get better and better. It perfectly explains why these fakes are improving so relentlessly. It's a built-in improvement engine, a self-improving lie machine almost.
That captures it perfectly. It's that adversarial dynamic that drives the rapid progress.
Okay, so we understand the tech better now. And usually when we hear deepfakes, our mind jumps straight to the bad stuff, the scams, the disinformation. And we absolutely need to get into those serious concerns. But it feels important to acknowledge this tech isn't just bad, right? There are actual positive, constructive uses too.
You're absolutely right to raise that. It's crucial for a balanced view. While the risks are huge, synthetic media, including deepfake tech, has genuinely incredible creative and practical uses across many fields. Let's look at those first. Take acting and film production. Digital doubles of actors aren't new, but deepfakes make them much more realistic and easier to create. This actually became a really big deal in the 2023 actors' strike, SAG-AFTRA. Actors were rightly concerned about studios creating and using their digital likenesses without proper consent or compensation. It highlights a huge new ethical area.
Yeah, that makes sense. Control over your own image.
Exactly. But the creative upsides are undeniable. Disney, for example, uses high-res deepfake face-swapping tech for amazing visual effects. Their systems can generate incredibly detailed results, better than many standard models, saving time and money. It let them de-age characters convincingly, think young Princess Leia in Rogue One or Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian.
Those were stunningly good.
Weren't they? It even allows for reviving deceased actors, like that Robert Kardashian hologram or a John Lennon ad. In India, a 2024 movie called The Greatest of All Time used AI deepfakes to show its star Vijay as a teenager. Adds a whole new storytelling layer. Agencies like CAA are even setting up systems to create digital clones of actors quickly, though the control rightly stays with the actor or their estate. And remember that David Beckham campaign in 2019? He was deepfaked speaking 9 languages for malaria awareness. Incredible reach.
Wow, okay. What about outside of film? Art, education.
Huge potential there, too. In art, Joseph Arel's 2018 artwork, Un'emozione per sempre 2.0, used an AI version of actress Ornella Moody to explore ideas about technology and memory. MIT referenced it in a study. Deepfakes are also great for satire. Think Sassy Justice from the South Park guys or Bruno Sartori's political parodies in Italy. They use fakes to comment on society, raise awareness in funny, pointed ways. And for education, the possibilities are immense. Imagine realistic, interactive videos, historical figures giving lectures, language apps with AI tutors that feel like real conversations. Deepfakes could make learning much more engaging.
That does sound powerful. And entertainment generally.
Definitely. On America's Got Talent, Metaphysic AI wowed everyone with deepfakes of the judges singing opera. They even did an Elvis Presley deepfake.
I saw that. It was uncanny.
Right. And MIT's 15.ai project is huge in fan communities for creating voices of characters like GLaDOS from Portal. In 2023, bands like ABA and KISS launched projects using deepfake avatars for virtual concerts. They can perform forever now, digitally.
Wild. Are there less obvious uses?
Yes, some really interesting ones. Identity masking and privacy, for instance. Audio deepfakes can create voice skins for online gaming. Someone worried about harassment could mask their gender or age. The documentary Welcome to Chechnya used deepfakes brilliantly to protect the identities of LGBTQ plus refugees fleeing persecution, letting them tell their story safely.
That's a really powerful ethical use.
It is. In healthcare, deepfakes help create realistic simulations for medical training. Surgeons can practice complex operations on 3D models without risk. In advertising, think product visualization. Amazon's AR feature letting you see virtual furniture in your room uses similar tech. And of course, memes. The Baka Mitai deepfake meme took off in 2020, shows the cultural side. So the range is huge: art, medicine, privacy, entertainment. It really forces us to see deepfake tech not as inherently evil, but as a powerful tool. The ethics lie in how it's used. It redefines authenticity.
That's a fantastic overview of the positive side. Really opens your eyes to the potential. But now we have to turn to the other side. The side that dominates the news, fuels the anxiety. While that creative potential is vast, the destructive uses are, let's be honest, the main worry for most people, and for very good reasons.
Indeed. The risks are severe, and they keep security experts, governments, and ordinary people awake at night. One of the most insidious uses is blackmail, using deepfakes to create fake but totally convincing, incriminating material. Imagine a fabricated video or audio clip showing you doing something illegal or deeply compromising that never happened.
Terrifying prospect.
Extremely. The U.S. Congressional Research Service specifically warned about this, targeting officials, people with security clearance, for espionage or political leverage. It also creates this weird legal problem called blackmail inflation.
Blackmail inflation.
Yeah, the idea that a victim might claim even real incriminating evidence is fake, because fakes are so convincing now, it's a double-edged sword. Could let guilty people off, or be used to frame the innocent with fake evidence that seems plausible because real fakes exist. It just muddies everything.
Right, it weaponizes doubt itself.
Precisely. Then there's the huge escalating problem of fraud and scams. This is costing billions globally. Estimates put current losses around $12 billion a year, projected to hit maybe $40 billion in just 3 years.
40 billion.
It's staggering, and we see examples constantly. Celebrity impersonations for fake crypto schemes or giveaways, deep-faked Taylor Swift pushing fake Le Creuset deals, Tom Hanks seemingly endorsing a sketchy dental plan, Oprah with fake weight loss gummies, Elon Musk and get-rich-quick scams. It's not just celebrities. Respected news anchors like Gayle King, Sally Bundock, politicians like Singapore's PM Lee Hsien-loong, Australia's Treasurer Jim Chalmers, all impersonated for scams.
How do these scams actually work?
Often audio deepfakes are key. There was a famous case in 2019. A UK energy firm CEO got scammed out of $220,000. The scammer used a voice clone of the parent company's chief executive to phone in urgent instructions for a fake money transfer.
Wow. Just over the phone.
Yep. And even more recently, in 2024, the engineering firm AirUp Group lost $25 million. An employee was tricked by a video call featuring deepfakes of the CFO and other colleagues, all fake. They authorized transfers based on that call.
A video call. That's next level.
It is. They use AI voice cloning, maybe existing video clips taken out of context to seem authentic. They prey on trust and urgency. It's a massive threat. And then there's pornography. Sadly, this was one of the very first malicious uses, and it's still huge. That 2019 Deep Trace report found something like 96% of online deepfakes were non-consensual porn.
96%. That's unbelievable.
It's horrific. Female celebrities are prime targets. Daisy Ridley, Emma Watson, Scarlett Johansson, Taylor Swift, many others have had their images abused this way. Remember that Deep Nude app in 2019? Designed specifically to digitally undress photos of women. Just awful. And research shows women, LGBTQ plus people, people of color, especially activists or politicians, are at much higher risk. The harm is immense: emotional, reputational, psychological.
Truly disturbing. What about the political sphere? Disinformation.
Another massive area of concern. Politics and disinformation. Deepfakes are perfect for misrepresenting politicians, sowing chaos and mistrust. Early examples were crude Macri as Hitler, Merkel as Trump in 2018. More shocking than convincing, maybe, Jordan Peele's Obama PSA in 2018 was actually meant to warn people, showed how convincing it could be.
Right, that was a real wake-up call.
It was. But then things got more serious. 2020, deepfakes claimed to show Joe Biden with cognitive issues. Also in 2020, a fake video of Belgium's PM Sophie Wilmez talking about COVID went viral. Many believed it initially. Campaigns started using it too. 2023, Ron DeSantis' campaign used AI images of Trump hugging Fauci. Controversial. And just recently, 2025 examples are piling up. Trump posting a deepfake of Obama being arrested, Argentina's government allegedly backing a smear campaign against a journalist using explicit deepfakes, a fake impeachment video targeting the Philippines VP Sara Duterte. It's escalating.
And elections themselves, are they being targeted?
Directly. Election interference is a huge fear, and it's happening. The U.S. House Intelligence Committee held hearings on this back in 2019. India's 2024 state elections saw widespread deepfake use by candidates, often for translating speeches. Seems helpful, but opens a door to subtle manipulation when adapting messages. A big shift. April 2024. A deepfake video of the Philippine President Bongbong Marcos popped up during tense times in the South China Sea. And leading up to the 2024 U.S. election, those AI robocalls mimicking Biden's voice, telling people not to vote in a primary, that's direct interference.
Chilling. What about just general social media manipulation?
Yep. Social media and sock puppets. Remember those super realistic Tom Cruise deepfakes on TikTok in 2021? Made by a VFX artist, Chris Ume. Went massively viral, showed how believable impersonation could be.
I do remember those. They were eerie.
Right. More sinisterly, reports suggest foreign intelligence uses deepfakes to create fake social media profiles to try and recruit spies. And creating totally fake online personas, sock puppets, is a tactic. The Oliver Taylor profile that attacked an academic. A pro-Israel propaganda campaign using deepfake photos of non-existent people. It just shows the sheer breadth of malicious uses. It's a profound threat on so many levels.
That list is quite overwhelming. It makes it crystal clear this isn't just a tech issue. It hits something much deeper, doesn't it? It really gets at trust.
Absolutely. That's arguably the biggest casualty. The erosion of trust and our shared sense of reality. Deepfakes are rocket fuel for disinformation. They're designed to create doubt, to make people question everything, to undermine trust in news, institutions, even our own eyes and ears.
So it's not just about believing a fake thing.
No, it's maybe even worse. It's the risk that people start dismissing real things as fake. Real evidence, real news reports, because how can you be sure anymore? Philosophers call it an epistemic threat, a threat to how we know things, to knowledge itself. It leads to this infodemic idea where good information is just drowned out by a flood of synthetic, manipulative garbage, makes it impossible to figure out what's true. The real insight isn't just being fooled, it's the constant burden of having to question everything. It wears us down, makes us susceptible.
And beyond that societal trust, what about direct harm to individuals? Reputation.
Yes, defamation and reputational damage are huge risks. Deepfakes can destroy someone's life or career. Think about fake audio used in voice phishing scams, making it sound like someone said something terrible they never uttered. Fabricated private remarks released publicly. Imagine the damage. Even a low-quality fake, if it's negative or compromising, can hurt someone badly because visual stuff hits hard and fast.
And it affects everyone, not just famous people.
Everyone. Public figures, yes. Corporations imagine a fake video tainting a stock price. But private individuals, too, especially with non-consensual, explicit fakes. Their lives can be ruined. The fakes are often targeted, designed to create a specific negative story that spreads like wildfire. The damage is done long before any correction can catch up.
And it drills down even further, doesn't it? To basic rights. Privacy, democracy itself.
It really does. Privacy is fundamentally violated when your likeness is used without consent in fake, often degrading situations. It's deeply invasive. It also fuels identity theft and extortion. A convincing deepfake could be used to impersonate someone, access accounts, or blackmail them with fabricated evidence. But the biggest systemic risk is to democratic function. If you can fake events, speeches, actions, you can totally disrupt how societies work. You make it hard to agree on facts, hard to make informed decisions.
Because the information is polluted.
Exactly. You can undermine elections, erode trust in institutions, poison public debate with lies. Deepfakes can bypass our normal skepticism, especially with micro-targeting, creating specific fakes designed to push the buttons of particular groups, exploit their biases. It's a weapon against informed consent, against the whole idea of a public making decisions based on shared reality. If we can't trust what we see and hear, how does democracy function? That's the terrifying core question.
Okay. That lays out the threat in really stark terms. It feels quite bleak. So the critical question becomes, how do we fight back when the fakes are getting this good, this fast? Is it a losing battle, or are there real solutions emerging?
It definitely feels like an arms race, a constantly moving goalpost, as you said earlier. Detection methods improve, but so do the fakes. But yes, there's a huge amount of innovation happening in detection. People are getting very clever.
Like what? What are some of the approaches?
Well, one really cutting-edge area is looking for subtle biological signals. Intel has a system called Fake Catcher. They claim it's the first real-time detector, 96% accurate. It works by analyzing tiny changes in blood flow in the pixels of a face.
Blood flow in pixels.
Yeah, it's a subtle sign of actual human life that deepfakes struggle to replicate perfectly. The AI analyzes these microchanges across the face to determine if it's real or fake. It's like looking for the digital pulse.
Fascinating. What else?
Another technique focuses on speech. Phone vis-a-vis mismatches. It looks for tiny inconsistencies between the sound being made, phone name, and the mouth shape, vis-a-vis. Fakes often get this slightly wrong. Analyzing characteristic facial movements is another one, how someone uniquely smiles or frowns. Deepfakes might look generally right, but miss those individual microexpressions.
So, looking for the lack of personal quirks.
Kind of, yeah. Technically, methods like recurrent convolutional models use deep learning to spot inconsistencies between video frames, looking for that flicker, jitter, unnatural transitions over time. Researchers at University of Buffalo even found ways to detect fakes by examining light reflections in the eyes, sometimes even without complex AI, apparently, though that might change.
The eyes give it away.
Sometimes. For famous people, like politicians, you can use identity-based features. Train AI specifically on their unique way of talking, gesturing, their facial tics. Creates a sort of biometric signature that's hard to fake perfectly. Then there's general multimedia forensics, carefully checking for inconsistencies in lighting, shadows, reflections within the scene itself. Deepfakes often mess these up. Does the shadow match the light source? Do reflections look right?
More futuristic ideas.
People are exploring blockchain to create secure ledgers verifying media sources before they even hit social media. Only authenticated content gets through. Another idea is digital signing right at the source. Cameras, phones would cryptographically sign every photo or video, creating a traceable chain of custody back to the original device.
Like a digital watermark, but more secure.
Exactly. And a really simple low-tech test. If you're suspicious on a video call, ask the person to turn their head fully to the side. Deepfakes often struggle with profile views more than front-on shots.
Huh. Sometimes the simple things work. That's actually reassuring, hearing about all these different angles of attack. And it's not just isolated efforts, right? I remember that deepfake detection challenge run with Facebook. Huge number of participants, tons of detection models created. Though the finding that humans are only, 69, 72% accurate at spotting those fakes, that really highlights the scale of the challenge. We need the tech, but human vigilance is still key.
Absolutely. Which leads perfectly into prevention, because detection is reactive, prevention is proactive, and arguably even more important.
So what can we actually do to prevent becoming victims or organizations becoming victims?
Several key things. For sensitive chats, especially financial ones, try using semantic passwords or secret questions. Agree on a specific, odd question beforehand that only the real person would know. If you get a suspicious call asking for money, ask the secret question. Simple, but effective.
A human firewall.
Pretty much. Also, keep your voice authentication and other biometrics up to date. Older systems might be easier to fool as voice cloning tech improves. Use multi-factor authentication always. Be careful about sharing voice samples publicly. And critically, especially for businesses, employee education is massive. Companies need to train staff specifically on deepfake threats. Not just general cybersecurity, but spotting impersonation scams for wire transfers, fake executive messages, manipulated media about the company.
So making people aware of the specific tactics.
Yes. Run simulations. Have clear protocols for verifying unusual requests. Foster that culture of healthy skepticism. And obviously, companies need robust AI detection tools in their own systems, strong authentication, and they need to share threat info with others in their industry. Prevention is about making yourself a much harder target.
That makes sense. But for us as individuals, beyond secret questions, how do we empower ourselves? If tech can't catch everything, what's our personal defense?
This is where media literacy becomes absolutely fundamental. It's our human firewall. Critical thinking, a skeptical mindset, these aren't optional anymore. They're survival skills in this information age. Research shows that learning about media literacy actually primes you. Makes you more likely to spot a deepfake instinctively when you encounter one.
So it's not just knowing what a deep fake is.
It's about learning to critically analyze all media. Asking, Who made this? Why? What's the context? Is the source credible? Is it trying to make me feel a certain way? It's about looking for those subtle clues, maybe the slightly off lip sync, the weird physics, the lack of blinking, whatever it might be, developing an eye for it.
Training our own internal detectors.
Exactly. It's not about being cynical, just discerning. You mentioned Northwestern's Kellogg School. Their Detect Fakes online experiment is a great tool for anyone listening to practice and improve their skills. Ultimately, our best defense is a well-trained mind, one that engages with digital content actively, critically, curiously.
Okay, so individual vigilance, corporate training, detection tech. What about the bigger picture? Platforms, governments, are they stepping up?
There's a lot happening on that front, too, though it's complex and evolving fast. It's a multi-stakeholder effort. Social media platforms have had to react, often under pressure. Early on, places like Discord, Reddit banned the worst offenders, like the subreddit sharing non-consensual porn. Pornhub banned deepfakes as non-consensual content, too. Google has been quite active. Banned involuntary synthetic porn back in 2018. Banned deepfake training on its Colabs platform. They've worked on audio detection, watermarking AI images. Facebook was slower initially, but then got involved in the detection challenge, and now labels manipulated media. X, formerly Twitter, also labels synthetic media, uses community notes for context, removes harmful stuff. Though they've had issues, like concerns about their AI grok spreading election misinformation recently. It's a constant battle for platforms.
And governments, what about laws?
Legislation is trying hard to catch up. In the U.S., there were early bills like the Malicious Deepfake Prohibition Act. California passed state laws targeting sexually explicit and political deepfakes near elections. The No AI Fraud Act aims to give people property rights over their own voice and likeness. China has strict rules now requires clear labels on face. Non-compliance is a crime. The UK's Online Safety Act made deepfakes illegal, with plans to criminalize making them just to cause distress. The European Union's Big AI Act takes a risk-based approach, though defining exactly where deepfakes fit is ongoing. And they're tackling data use, like the Irish probe into X using EU data for training AI. Canada has its Online Harms Act proposed. India is using existing laws but proposing a new Digital India Act to address AI specifically. So globally, governments are trying to create legal frameworks, but the tech moves so fast.
What about research funding, government initiatives?
Crucial area. DARPA in the U.S. has funded major programs like media forensics, metaphor for detection, and semantic forensics, semaphore, which aims to detect malicious intent and trace deepfakes back to their source. They even published an analytic catalog recently. There's the International Panel on the Information Environment, with hundreds of scientists globally working on countermeasures. And industry groups like Tech UK are collaborating funding detection research based on biological signals, voice mismatches, etc., pushing for watermarking authentic content and running public awareness campaigns. Because tech alone isn't the answer.
Right, that public awareness piece seems vital.
It is, but even with all this effort, controversies keep erupting. It shows how tricky this still is.
Like what? Any recent examples?
Well, think about the situation with Kate Middleton's cancer announcement video in March 2024. That was a genuine, very personal message, but it was met with a storm of conspiracy theories online. People claimed it was a deep fake.
I remember that. Why?
Partly because there had been earlier manipulated photos, creating suspicion. People focused on tiny details, like a missing ring, things that seemed inconsistent to them. Public figures like Jonathan Perkins at UCLA even publicly speculated it wasn't real. It wasn't about the video actually being fake. It was about how the fear of deepfakes, the general erosion of trust, meant even a real message was doubted. It shows the psychological impact.
That's a powerful point. Even the possibility of deepfakes changes how we react to real things. The landscape is just constantly shifting, constantly challenging.
Exactly. The fight isn't just against the fakes themselves, but against the uncertainty they create.
Well, this has been an incredibly detailed journey. We've gone from the tech origins through the good and the truly bad uses to the fight back. We've seen how deepfakes evolve from lab experiments to tools anyone can use, challenging our trust, our reality. And this constant evolution, fakes getting better, detection getting smarter, that seems to be the defining feature.
It really is. And the key takeaway has to be this duality. Yes, there's amazing creative potential, but the urgency of building safeguards, boosting media literacy, it's immense. It's not just about code and algorithms. It's about human judgment, critical thinking, and building a more resilient society overall. It's a collective challenge.
Which brings it back to you, listening. We really hope you feel empowered to be an active part of navigating this. Check out tools like that, detect fakes, experiment, practice verifying sources, Think critically about what you see and hear online. Be your own digital detective.
Yeah, connecting this to the bigger picture, the health of our information environment depends on everyone playing a part. Tech companies, governments, educators, and absolutely you. It's about working together to build that resilience, that discernment we need for the future.
So let's end with a question for you to think about. In this world where sight and sound can be so convincingly faked, where history itself could potentially be rewritten digitally, what does seeing is believing even mean anymore? How will we tell the difference between just a really good performance and actual, undeniable proof? Something to ponder. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us today. We hope you feel more informed, more aware, maybe a little more prepared. Until next time, stay curious and definitely stay critical.